Hi everybody! Today I'm going to be talking about episode 11, so if you haven't seen it, go and watch it and then come back because there's going to be spoilers. So one of my favorite parts of the episode actually happens kind of early on. Jeremy is talking to Ben and he asks him like, who's the biggest, baddest guy out here? And then Ben is like, you? And I just thought that was an awesome moment because these two players were kind of having a little standoff. I personally don't really see either of them as a huge threat, in all honesty. I think they're kind of like equal. Also, something I'm really confused about, Michelle was talking about how she was like left out of the vote again, or she's like on the bottom, and I'm kind of unsure exactly what's going on because she was acting like she didn't just vote against Tyson for this last vote. I'm really unsure where her allegiances lie. I think either she's really confused or she's kind of like playing both sides and she's just being like a really good actor. They didn't really give her that many confessionals this episode, and so I just don't even know what's going on with her. So I think anybody can agree, like, this was like basically Tony's episode. Tony killed it. I don't think I've ever seen an episode on Survivor where one player like dominated the whole episode. So he's getting in with both alliances and he's been going undercover. He found an idol. It's funny because I don't really know where Tony's allegiance lies right now, because first he was kind of playing double agent, and then at the end he was kind of playing triple agent. He convinces everybody, well, not everybody, but 5 of them to vote Sophie out. So he's kind of with Jeremy, even though he was just trying to get him out. I think Tony's kind of operating under like a voting block type thing, as opposed to like actual like hard and steadfast alliances. And I think that this technique and strategy is working well for him. I mean, like, even though Kim basically called him out and I don't think everybody buys it, however, he was able to get multiple people to give him fire tokens, which I will get into that. The disadvantage. Parvati and Natalie found a disadvantage on the edge of extinction, and they decide to blackmail Tony for 6 fire tokens. Basically, if he can't pay it, then he cannot play for immunity and he cannot vote. It's funny because he was so excited to read the little scroll because it's clear that he thought it was an advantage, and then there is this like harsh realization of like, oh wait, this is bad. Tony just went ahead and scrambled and was able to get these 3 extra fire tokens, which I didn't think he'd be able to do it. However, I think that it worked for him because of how the votes are split right now. Right now, because there's 9 people, it's basically 4-5. And because Tony is in this sort of like middle area, like voting purgatory, whatever you want to call it, he is basically the swing vote right now. And so his argument was like, hey, like, if I can't pay this, then I cannot vote with you. And he was able to use that to get people to basically just like hand him over. Like, he didn't have to do that much convincing. And then he goes on to win the immunity challenge. So there are actually a couple of double agents in this episode, 2 of them being Kim and Denise, who are acting like they're with Jeremy, but they're not. Jeremy thinks that they are. Honestly, I feel bad for Jeremy. He has it rough. He's basically alone. I don't know if there's any player that's like genuinely with him. So if he can make it to the end, I think he's gonna have a really good shot at winning. Tony, for whatever reason, decides that he doesn't want Jeremy to be out. He wants Sophie out. He wants to split up Sophie and Sarah, which, I mean, I understand how these type of big moves, it's all about timing. And he has the mini necklace, so he feels safe. He feels like he can, you know, go out of his way and do something crazy. I don't know if it was the best move, and I think that we see in the, you know, next episode preview how that pretty much ruins his alliance with Sarah. But it works out for Jeremy, even though at first he did not even believe Tony. And I was kind of worried that Jeremy would end up being voted out because he didn't listen to what Tony was saying. But luckily he did, and Pearl's Sophie was sent to Extinction Island. I mean, I think that was one of the biggest blindsides of this season. Just in terms of like somebody feeling so comfortable in that moment. I mean, she even had an idol in her pocket and didn't play it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Sorry this video was one day late, but usually they're on Thursdays, and the next Thursday I will upload another one. Alright guys, have a good rest of your week. Bye!